Good morning. I was done doing these for a while, and then I saw my clean time, and I figured this would be fitting. Today, a year ago, I was getting ready and about to leave to go into treatment. This would mark 12 months to the day from when I went into treatment. And I know that the clean time, it being a year and 5 days, is, the year marker is a big deal from the day that I surrendered. But going into treatment 12 months from that day is a big deal. I'm not saying I would have made it if I didn't go in, but I'll never know. I do know this. I was able to accomplish 1 year from that day. Today I don't feel 100%. Yesterday I felt 20%. Last couple of days I've not been feeling good. Yesterday marked the first time I called in sick in 1 year. I made it a point to not call in sick for a whole year. Considering how many times I called in sick in years prior. I mean, I came up with every excuse that you could think of, with the exception of my car got totaled, or I got into an accident, and then I fixed it in 2 days. What we think of when we're out there. So luckily I never had to try that one. And hopefully I never have to think about that either. This is a big deal to me. I know the 1 year marker is a big deal, but today is huge. It's huge. This was the day I was dropped off. It was the day that I sat there in that room and I cried to myself, and I asked myself, do I have what it takes? I was still super paranoid, still super everything that you can think of when it comes to raising that white flag. But I felt like I finally fucking made it, because the battle of getting into a treatment center was so hard for me. It wasn't as easy as just calling and saying, get me into one. From one place saying that they don't, I called every place in my network. Nobody had a room. There weren't many places in the network. There was one that accepted me, but I had to put like 15 grand down or some bullshit, some high crazy number. Maybe it wasn't that much, but it was close to that number, and I thought, there's no way. Here's a interesting fact. I had bumped my HSA, which is a health savings account, 2 years prior to like almost $500 a month. That's what was coming out. And enough money accumulated that when I had to go in, because I had to drop like $1,500 to get into the, now mind you, I can't use that card for gas or anything. I can only use it for medical reasons. I can use it for my glasses, and I can use it for treatment, evidently. And so I swiped the card, and because like I still wasn't sure. I swiped the card, 1,500 went through. And I kept swiping that card as I went through IOP and all that stuff until it was used up. But I had enough money in there to go through treatment and get my glasses and take care of my son's glasses. Pretty cool. Hindsight's 20/20, but looking back, I don't think I wouldn't have had that if now I could have used that money for laser eye surgery or bridges or crowns or stuff, so hopefully I don't do that again, so I can, I bumped it up a little as well. But anyways, it's a crazy higher power thing to know that I used up all that money, exactly the right amount, that I needed for everything to get myself better. So I had put a savings account aside, not knowing I was going to do that, not knowing I was going to go into what I was going to go into. But back to what I was saying. Day one was reflection day. I sat there and I asked myself, what am I going to do now? I had a plan. My plan was simple. I wasn't in a relationship anymore, but I still wasn't sure there. And that deaded in the while I was in treatment, which is a good thing. Everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to. I kind of did it prior to, but I won't get into that. I was going to go in, complete it, and then I was going to get into an Oxford. I told myself that was the only mission. Now, I had these ideas of staying in Oxford for a certain amount of time and then occupying the house back, which I accomplished. But I didn't want to overthink. When you're wondering what to do next, just do the next right thing. Don't start thinking about how the whole year is going to be planned out. That's the approach I took. I took the approach of little by little. And day one, I had told myself, well, you're in here, you're not going to sleep in all day, you're not going to eat shitty, you're going to go in here and you're going to go into the first class and you're going to keep doing these classes. Because when you go in there, it's class after class after class. They're really trying to gear you in there to go back out into the real world and go back to work. So they have you wake up at 7 without exception. I ended up waking up at 6 every day. I told myself I would do that, so I would create a new sleep schedule. I created a new sleep schedule in there. I created a working out habit, even though it was just push-ups. I was able to accomplish doing that consistently the whole 27 days, sorry. I didn't start doing anything until this day 2. I told myself I'd make my bed. So that's what I did. I started by, I'm going to wake up early and make my bed. That's it. I'll do all the other stuff, but I'm going to wake up early and make my bed. You got to start small increments. If life has been to the point where you're not even doing the basic things, then start with one basic thing and do it consistently. I haven't made my bed in a while, so maybe I'm calling myself out here. I got to start doing that. I got to get my house clean too. I did this whole grind, and now I know what I need to do next. I focus on that and I'll feel a lot better. I have some consistency in what I do regularly that I won't break that. I don't believe I will. But go in. If you're wondering if you'll be able to stop, I don't know. Like, I see people go into the rooms with 4 days, which turns into 7 days, which turns into 12 days, which turns into 14 days, and then all of a sudden they got 2 months. And they're doing the damn thing without having to go into treatment. So do I believe that everybody needs to go into treatment? No. Do I believe that this addict needed to go into treatment? Yes. I needed that. I just wouldn't just do the regular shit. I needed a reset. I needed a change of venue. I needed to change my living situation. And then I needed to find, I had this plan that, like, I can't get into an Oxford unless I go into treatment. And IOP wasn't working for me because I was still, so I needed to move away and then move away. I moved like 3 times in that 1 year. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I moved 3 times in 1 year. And I'm still recovering from moving back. And so, if you're wondering if that will work, it can. That can work. It has for me so far. But I don't believe that treatment is a form of recovery. I don't believe that. I believe it's a detox and a reset. Do I believe that Oxford is important? Absolutely. Absolutely. And would I recommend Oxford over sober living? 100%. I'm not going to knock sober living because it's a different place, but Oxford has struggle, or it has structure. You have to do things. You have chores. You have to do them. You guys have house meetings. So if you can find a way to get clean, stay clean, and get into an Oxford house, you don't need to do treatment. You can do it without treatment. Treatment teaches you what the disease of addiction is. That's it. And they feed you. And they tell you when to go to bed. They tell you when you can smoke or have a break. They stop you from watching TV all day. And you're not allowed a cell phone. For some of us, that's super important, just that change. It's drastic. You know, I said start small. Those are little increments of things that they take away from you. If you feel like that's important to you, great. I needed that. I'd have been sitting there looking at Facebook wondering what the fuck everybody's saying about me. And then I would have tied in all that stuff thinking they were talking about me. So it's good that I didn't have it. But today would be the first day I'm driving it. And it would be my final goodbyes to certain people. Thank God. It would be a goodbye to a lifestyle that I hated, that I couldn't handle. You know, you go in there and you come back different. One, you feel better, and you've been away from it for at least 3 weeks. And really it's 4, a little less than 4. So this is my true 12 months. Actually, at the end of this month, well, no, I take that back. Yeah, pretty close. It'll be my true from the first video I did. But my goal wasn't to do 12 months of videos. It was to do the 12 months clean. And I feel like this video is just as important as the last ones I've done, because this was my entrance to treatment. This was the day. This was the day that I walked into there and felt like I finally made it. It's interesting to get it to a point in life where when you make it to treatment, you feel like you finally made it. Where I finally don't have to worry about coming home and getting loaded. Where I don't have to worry about going into work after a weekend of getting loaded. Like all of that was gone. And it felt like they say it gets different before it gets better. Instantly it was better. That different was better. And what the work I put in these last 12 months have been better than I've ever expected. I'm not saying everybody has to do it the way I did it. It's just the way I had to do it to make sure that I would do it. And now I know. Like, if I ever decide to sponsor somebody, which I'm so far from that, it's not even funny. I'm still on step 4 still, which I made a commitment that I would finish. So I might as well just put that on this video too. Step 4 must be completed by the end of the month. And I believe I will now. I don't believe I'm going to keep putting that to the side. I believe that I've let go of some resentments that I was going to put in there and just go into it for a long period of time. I've worked through those. I've worked through a lot of that stuff that happened from November until now. And I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful that I'm in a mindset that I can actually be good with myself. No matter what happens, no matter who stops talking to me, no matter whatever. I don't have to sit there and live in it. And I can just continue to push through. My connection to God is stronger than I've ever had in my whole life. There's this trust level that helps prevent me from worrying as much. And I like to say that helps prevent me from worrying as much, because I'm always going to worry. I'm a worrier. Maybe hopefully I go from worrier to warrior. We'll see. But I don't stress when I worry as much. And I worry like I worried before making this. Not about this, just about what's in my bank account. But then I start thinking, well, shit, man, I bought all the kids' clothes and, you know, got the haircuts and paid all the bills. Sitting there stressing over 2 bills that I felt like I shouldn't have to pay, and I took care of those because it's what I felt like is the right thing to do. And contrary to popular belief. And I just wow, that's not an eagle. Anyways, my journey's my journey, and so far it's been a hell of a journey. If I could give anybody who's starting to get clean the gift of recovery, I wouldn't hand it to you. I know that sounds shitty. You have to take that, and when you take it, the accomplishment, the feel of accomplishment because you earned it, you will be glad that nobody gave it to you. I heard somebody share that in a meeting once, and it was one that I listened to on YouTube. It was a speaker meeting. You can get speaker meetings on YouTube. I tried everything, you know, like fucking making those, like turning those on, because I didn't want to make meetings and show my face. So I put on speaker meetings, NA speaker meetings on YouTube. Evidently, for me, the rooms are more important than trying to self-sponsor. But I heard somebody say that they were like 17 treatment centers in. And they said they were sitting there, and some lady got up there and said, if I could give you guys the gift of recovery, and I wouldn't, you know, being clean and feeling better. And he was so pissed off when he heard it. And then, like, when he got a year clean, he said he totally understood, and he was grateful that he heard it. The gift of recovery is gained by journey, perseverance, and turning your life and your will over. Mere will, when you're an addict and you suffer from what I suffer from, doesn't necessarily work. I have to turn that over and then just push. Some people would probably say that I've done this all myself, and there's a lot of the stuff that I've done, but I don't have any of it without my higher power. And a lot of stuff I had to turn over to my higher power, because by doing that I was able to fucking relax a little. It didn't mean stop. It didn't mean don't go to work anymore. It didn't mean don't fucking figure it out. It just meant stop worrying. Worrying is not figuring anything out. Worrying is the go-to when all else fails. And that's not really the right go-to, because all worrying did is led me to get loaded. I worried so much that I didn't want to feel like that anymore, that I got loaded. And then all of a sudden the worry was like fucking 10 times. As if I could even worry even more. I was like, there's no way I could worry more. I found a way. And it was like 10 times worse. So just keep doing this. Do the damn thing. If treatment's your thing, get in it. If you can make meetings and do it consistently, get a sponsor, a home group, work steps, get a service commitment, do it. But do the things. Do something. And keep in mind that doing nothing is doing something. So hopefully you're not doing that something. We all have what it takes. That doesn't mean that we're gonna do what it takes. We just have what it takes. There's no like, this person can't. If you're breathing and you're walking around, and you can. I seen a guy at the gym in a wheelchair. Just saying. That's all I got, and that's probably my last video for a while. I think so. Anyways, I just want to tell you that you got it. You got this. It's going to be tough. It ain't going to be easy. And it's going to feel like shit. But it's well worth it when you look back. And looking back, like, I don't look back at bad memories like I used to. But when I was walking into treatment, I did. And I had created some good memories prior to that, luckily. But the second time I walked into treatment, I don't want to look back. The first time, I didn't look back. And that didn't help me either. So that's all I got.